Okay, this video is going to quickly go over some odds and ends, bits of the notes that we didn't get to in the last video. And the first thing that we had not gotten to was were these first two examples. In class, I had people very start of the notes, try this on their own. So again, this is circumference, so we're using 2 pi r for circumference. And I had people take a couple minutes and try these problems that use the circumference formula on their own. So pause, take 2 minutes, and try that problem, and I'll show up the answer in a few seconds. So pause here and try it. And here is what you should get. Circumference, again, is 2 pi times the radius. So on this first one, since the diameter is 20, the radius is going to be half of that, which is 10. So 2 pi times my radius is 10 is 20 pi. Over here, circumference is 2 pi r. This time we're given the circumference. We know the circumference is 48. So we are going to put 48 in for circumference, solve for our radius by dividing by 2 pi to get rid of the multiplying by 2 pi that's going on. So those two led into our discussion about arc length. Remember that arc length, when I do this next problem, arc length is tied to circumference. So the next problem that I did with people is back here. This one over here. So we have length equals part times circumference. And this is a trickier one, like this one was over here, where we can get our part, like we do on every other problem. Part equals our angle, 150, divided by 360. That's going to simplify 15 over 36. Divide those by 3. That's going to be 5 over 12. So 5 over 12 there. And this 10.5 is actually an arc length. It is an arc length that we know. So we are given the length to be 10.5. And we are asked to solve for circumference. Solve for our circumference. And so, within the formula, what that's going to look like is our length, we know, is 10.5, equals our part is 5 over 12, times our circumference, which we don't know. So then we're going to solve this equation. Get rid of your fraction by multiplying by what's on the bottom. So these 12s cancel, and we're left with 5c. 10.5 times 12, that's going to be 126. So then we're going to divide. And we get c to be 25.2. Now the catch is that we're not done yet. Because it didn't ask for circumference, it actually asked for radius, which we are going to use circumference to get. The same way that we just did on the last problem I showed you. So to get radius from circumference, we're going to use the formula for circumference. which is that circumference equals 2 pi r. And now that we know that the circumference is 25.2, we're going to put that in for C, and we're going to solve for r by dividing by 2 pi to get rid of the multiplying. So we're going to get r to, that divides out to be around 4.01, and our units are in feet. So that ends up being our radius. So to walk through the outline of that one more time, we knew the arc length. We knew the length of this arc. And if I know that that far around the circle is 10.5, we use that to solve for the circumference all the way around the circle, being 25.2. And then use that circumference, being 2 pi r, to solve for the radius. Okay, so that's a little bit more of a complicated one. And then I just want to remind you of how the area works. So area of a sector, remember, is going to be tied to area of the circle. So when we do our units, it's going to be in like feet squared, inches squared, centimeters squared, all of those. So sector is related to area. And we had done a couple problems like these two examples. And I want you to use these two examples as your baseline to try this problem on your own. So again, I'm wanting you to do this one right here. I'm going to make a change here. Instead of 106 degrees, I'm going to make this 108 degrees so that the problem is easier to work through and simplify. So I want you to do this on your own. This answer should be in terms of pi. So the answer should have a pi in it, and it should be a simplified fraction with pi in it. All right, so I'll be checking that when I check the notes. And that should cover all the problems I'm looking for to be done on the notes.